Greatness is measured many ways, but when it is measured with the weight of 70 years of grand history behind it, then distinction becomes its very soul. The Orange Bowl was not built with greatness in mind, but its place in history made it so. If this building could talk, what would it say? What stories would it share? And where would it begin?
McNown back to pass. Steps up. Throws toward the end zone. Everybody down there. It is out of the end zone. It is incomplete. And how about it? Miami's won. Miami's won. The Canes have done it. 49 to 45. They've upset UCLA. They have ruined the Bruins season.
This amazing documentary looks back fondly to the beginning of the Orange Bowl Stadium's history. Starting in the 1930s, the Greater Miami Athletic Association decided tourism was the solution to the Great Depression. And having a New Year's football game, plus building a new stadium, was one of the answers. The stadium, that would eventually bear the name of the Orange Bowl, was originally called Burdine Stadium, after local businessman Roddy Burdine, who had championed the project for years, but died only 2 months before its completion. We will revisit the first game the University of Miami played at the stadium in 1937 and follow its history past World War II, as well as the famous championship high school games of the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Walter Winchell once wrote, after viewing the parades and halftime show of the Orange Bowl Classic games, "The rainbow spectacles between halves makes everything else in show business seem small time." Our journey will continue and take us through 4 decades of growing pains, all the way to the Dolphins' perfect season, with history dotting the landscape along the way.
You know, coming to Miami in 1970 and having the Orange Bowl as our home stadium, I've got a lot of great memories of the Orange Bowl. You know, the perfect season, the 72 season, and all the games that were played in the Orange Bowl, and the fantastic fan support that we had. The fans seemed that they were right on top of the field, and they gave us that great crowd noise, and it was a tremendous home field advantage when we played in the Orange Bowl. And our fans knew that they could affect the outcome of a game by crowd noise, and I think that's where crowd noise as we know it first took hold.
We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl, 'cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins.
History like Winston Churchill's honorary doctorate.
Sunlit uplands.
John F. Kennedy's speech after the failed Bay of Pigs invasion.
I think it's time America started moving again.
And the tent-city encampment created as a result of the Cuban Mariel boat lift in the early 1980s.
My dad was a coach back in the 70s and early 80s. And my fondest memories are probably being on the sideline as a little kid because my dad was able to give me a pass. And I'll miss it. It's going to be weird. It's the biggest part of local history I know of that'll be gone. But he was here.
We will visit all the stories and memories that are integral parts of South Florida and the nation, because here they are intrinsically tied together by one amazing structure that wove its history into their fabric. We will explore these memories and interview the people who will reflect back on the OB's history that's part of our great city.
It was during the latter games of the Orange Bowl the 50th anniversary in which the University of Miami played in, that was played in that venue, so that 90% of the time the home team won. And that, coupled with the dimensions, the aesthetics, and all those things, made it the hardest place in America for a team to come in and win.
It's now Dolphin ball.
The film will end with the demolition of the stadium and its bygone times. But it will never fade from memory, because it will live on in this wonderful historical retrospective forever.